Slowly, gradually, we will recover. We will survive. We will rebuild. Kathleen Blanco.
I really wasn't sure how all of this was going to play out, but I mean, then again, none of us were. I really don't think anyone realized the full magnitude that how much this would affect us. I still find it hard to wrap my mind around how much this has changed just everyday life and how much slower it's made things.
This pandemic has affected me in many different ways, some negative and some positive. As for the negatives, I no longer have a regular routine, and because of that, I have a very unusual sleep schedule. So that's been kind of a challenge to correct and get used to. Also, I had to say goodbye to, many people that I thought I had another 2 to 3 months with. And because of that, because I did have to leave, 2 months ahead of schedule as a senior, I missed out on one more show, one more theater production that I thought I had. That was a little sad to come to terms with.
The ambulance took me to St. Finbarr's Fever Hospital 30 miles away. Doctors and nurses examined me several times a day, asking me to sit up and move my legs or grip their hands as they tested the damage the virus was doing to my muscles. I wasn't entirely separated from my family. My brother Andrew, 3 years older than me, had been admitted to the hospital a few days after me. I was then transferred on the 23rd of October to another hospital. It had first been built as a TB hospital, but was rapidly converted by the use of hundreds of polio patients. I hated the place.
School has been closed 3 weeks, but I think it'll open again Monday as we are going to have churches again. There's only been a few cases of the flu here, with one death, but so many died in Tampa, some in Winter Haven too. This is the first week their school has been closed, and I think they were foolish to keep it open so long. Many towns near us has closed their schools, churches, and have even canceled all gatherings until this epidemic is past.
It was announced in the papers tonight that all churches, shows, and schools will be closed until further notice to prevent Spanish influenza from spreading. Good idea? I'll say it is. So will every other school kid, I calculate. The only cloud in my sky is that the board will have to miss days on at the end of the term.
In some families, all were sick together. In some towns, almost all were sick, so it was a time of distress.
I do not recall eating any meals. At that time, people believed you needed to sweat out a fever. There was never any liquor in our house, but a small bottle of whiskey had been purchased, and it was warmed in a saucepan, and sugar was added to it. We each had to take our dose of medicine to help us sweat out the fever, and I don't remember how many days we were sick, but we all survived.
There are an awful lot of people dying just now on account of the flu. A little girl next door was buried today, and there's a lady up the street a ways that's pretty sick, and my little sister is just getting over it, so I guess it is pretty near my turn, for everyone in our family has had it but me.
The university is under quarantine now, and no one is allowed in or out without a pass. We probably would have left here this week if it was not for the quarantine. A good many of the boys from Ironton are either sick or in the hospital. P.S. What's so none of you don't get that disease? It's dangerous.
The ban was lifted today. No more masks. Everything open too. The Romance of Tarzan is on at the Coliseum as it was about 6 weeks ago. Oh, I'd like to see it awfully. School opens this week. Thursday. Did you ever? As if they couldn't have waited until Monday.
May 3rd, 2020. As I sit here and pen this letter, I gaze outside my window and everything around me is still and silent. The coronavirus pandemic has swept across the world, and well, we're all frightened. I never imagined that I would experience something like this, so life-changing and completely out of my control. I feel trapped and helpless. All we can do is wait. People are dying, and I am just waiting, hiding. Never in my life have I felt so cowardly and defenseless. I've been praying now more than ever, hoping that things will go back the way they were. I go to bed each night dreaming that I will wake up the next morning and go to classes again, see my friends, and go to theater rehearsal, and see my family. I think I miss them most of all. They've closed the borders in my country, so I wasn't able to go home. I'm not sure when I'll ever be able to. I try to make the most out of my situation, though, but I can't help feel like I've lost all freedom. I know things will get better. I'm looking forward to better days.
And though there has been many negatives about this pandemic, I am very happy that there's been a lot of positives that have affected my life. And it's my hope that as we move past this pandemic and we begin to gather as a whole again, I hope that I'm able to take these life experiences and these new findings about myself and put them to good use in the future.